Oftentimes, when critiquing the media, the topic of access to politicians comes up. And recently, The Hollywood Reporter gained access to some internal emails with Fox News. And it determined that, yeah, they're very much concerned about access to Trump administration officials, including Steve Mnuchin. Now, interestingly enough, they backstab one another between shows within the network in order to gain access to these politicians. And I want to give you a few examples. So in April of 2017, a producer for Lou Dobbs's Fox Business Network program played up the show's ratings advantage over Maria Bartiromo's morning show when trying to land an interview with Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. So here's what the email read, and this is written by the producer. Secretary Mnuchin, next week, you think? The producer said in an email to Mnuchin's spokesperson. He's doing Maria Bartiromo, you know, much lower ratings than us. And I say that in an endearing way.
No, you don't. Nope, not at all endearing. Just trying to S-talk her, if you will. So he comes on your show instead. Let's just be honest.
It's incredible. I mean, okay, so let me give you more. In June of 2017, the producer wrote back, "My dearest Tony."
I already love this.
No, okay, let's stop for a second. My first role here at TYT, this is after my temporary position filling in for JR was up and I really wanted to stay here. And you're like, you wanna be the guest booker in addition to doing like marketing or whatever. And I never wrote an email like that in my life. My dearest Tony, my dearest so-and-so. Like it's condescending.
I almost thought they were gonna write, my beloved.
Okay, let me give you more.
I'm sorry, that's reserved for Kim Jong-un.
We fell in love. All right, my dearest Tony, I see Mnuchin is doing Varney tomorrow. I am hurt.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any better. I am hurt, my dearest. How have you betrayed me? I thought we were betrothed. And there you are on another Fox program.
I am hurt. I really, really need him for Lou. She then added, thank God. I just asked someone from Stuart Varney's show and they said he won't be doing their show. That's great news. This is some shady stuff, man.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if I wrote an email like that to like the spokesperson or the assistant for whoever, like let's say Obama, I'm just throwing a name out there. Like I want Obama on No Filter, but then I hear that Obama agreed to do the damage report, right?
No, I love that idea.
And I'm like, oh, my dearest so-and-so, I am disturbed that you would allow Obama on the damage report. This damages their reputation, disgusting. All right, by the way, Damage Report's a great show, you should watch it.
Okay, no, I was gonna do something similar, like Nina Turner, you like is already booked on Damage Report. You undercut John with, do you know my view count is higher than Damage Report? Please.
It's so shady.
So my betrothed, please come on my show instead.
Okay, there's an important commentary here when it comes to access to politicians. We've talked about it before, we'll talk about it again, but I will say that this shows me how different TYT is from almost any other so-called newsroom, right? Because we genuinely like each other. Like John's my legitimate friend. I did a toast for his wedding.
Yeah.
You know, I can't ever imagine like sniping him like that behind the scenes.
When I was at MSNBC, people were super competitive. Like, I had a producer warn me when I was getting great ratings as a fill-in host, be careful, people are gonna be out for your head.
Oh my God.
I'm like, why? I'm doing great. He said, what kind of a sucker are you? What do you mean, why I'm doing great? Because you're doing great. And he told me that other hosts don't want fill-ins who do better than them, which almost never happens. But if you do better than them in the ratings, when they're out, they're like, no, I'm done with that guy, no way. That's embarrassing.
Look, I get that. I get like the human instinct because if you have a fill-in that's better than you, right? And somehow like the ratings skyrocket when you're on vacation and a fill-in comes in, well then your job is really gonna be jeopardized there, right? But within a company where you're talking about 2 full-time hosts, 2 full-time shows, you want that network to succeed. It's not gonna succeed with one well-performing show.
They don't care about it. All they care about is themselves. But I mean, like the idea that you would have someone fill in for you and then take over a show, like, wait a minute. See, folks with, I know I seem to have an ego. For good reason, sometimes you'll think. But if you don't, you're happy when other people succeed. I know it seems crazy to TV people, right? But it is possible that, especially if you agree and you want to actually empower people, it's wonderful when they succeed and they're part of your same network.
Let me give you some more of these emails. By the way, this is all like fighting for Steve Mnuchin, which I can't imagine. I wouldn't fight for Steve Mnuchin if my life depended. I wouldn't even fight for my own life to get Steve Mnuchin on the show. Like I'd be like, all right, well just take me, I'm done. Okay, it's over. All right, let me give you more. A few months later, a different Fox Business Network producer requested that Mnuchin appear on Bartiromo's show. During a discussion of when to schedule the interview, the producer said, as long as he is not on CNBC or another Fox Business Network program, please. Okay.
By the way, just look, legit reason why they care so much is not just the exclusive because people think, oh my God, Mnuchin's on, I got to turn on to Fox Business. A sentence that has never been spoken in the English language.
Never.
It's because then the clips that come out of that interview get covered by the rest of the press. But if you're the second one to do the interview, you get a lot less coverage. The first person to do the interview gets all the coverage for the rest of the media, which might then help your ratings later. So that's the phenomenon, just giving you the context.
And then Bret Baier got involved in one of these instances. So in the fall of 2017, a planned interview with Mnuchin on Bret Baier's weekday Fox News show was scrapped after his production team learned that Mnuchin would also appear 2 days earlier, not even on the same day, 2 days earlier on Chris Wallace's Sunday morning show. We would really like to have some sort of exclusivity with our interview, Baier's booker wrote. And then eventually Baier himself sent an email. And this is what he said. Okay, we assumed you knew that a major Sunday show interview or 2 days before a sit down with me would take a little of the steam off the booking. We would love to have the secretary on, but maybe later in September now. So like that kind of goes to what you were saying, Cenk. You want to make sure that someone doesn't steal all your thunder before you have your sit down interview with a Trump administration official or any politician for that matter. But I think the important lesson to take away from this is think about what this signals to a person in a position of power, right? When you have so-called journalists fighting for you. If they're fighting for you, then you have leverage and you're able to reject people if they critique you even a little bit, or if they say something hard-hitting about the Trump administration, something honest or truthful about the Trump administration. You're far less likely to grant that particular show an interview if you know that they've been critical, because you get to take your pick, right? It's like a buffet of friendly media outlets and shows that you can choose from. So why go with someone who's going to be critical?
In fact, that might partly explain why Lou Dobbs is so over the top. The other day he said that Trump might be receiving accolades for centuries from here, right? Jesus. Like, and it was so over the top. It's literally sounded North Korean, and they're this close to saying he has no anus. Okay, and so there isn't anything that Lou Dobbs couldn't take and make into like reverence for the dear leader Donald Trump. It's so overwhelmingly over the top. Part of it is he wants to get an audience. Partly he's lost his mind. But the third reason is access. Because if he can kiss Trump's ass harder and longer than Bartiromo, then he's going to get access to more guests from the Trump administration than Bartiromo is. So that's how this game is played.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair to them, they actually do have access. Whereas, and with the stuff that's said on their shows does get covered widely. And that's an advantage that TV has, which drives them to this level of competitiveness. Here, a guest could say anything, unless it's like damaging to progressives, it'll never be covered, right? I'm just keeping it real. So it doesn't really matter if they say it on No Filter or Damage Report or Secular Talk or Young Turks, etc. I remember Mel Brooks once stopped in, this was a million years ago, and broke huge news on our show. Young Frankenstein was gonna go to Broadway. At that time, he was super hot on Broadway, and he's Mel Brooks, he's a legend, and it was like a big deal. We told all the press, oh my God, Mel Brooks said on the air, and here's the tape of him saying he's gonna bring Young Frankenstein. No one ran the story. 2 weeks later, he told the New York Times or something, and the coverage exploded. And every outlet covered it like, oh my God, Mel Brooks is bringing Young Frankenstein to Broadway. But dude, we sent you a video of him saying where you could see it was him saying it, and you're like, oh, it doesn't count. It's just, the mainstream media is so weird.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they didn't really have any taste for you from the very beginning.
No, they view people with power already and money as legitimate. Anyone who is not already incredibly wealthy or incredibly powerful, the mainstream media views as illegitimate. And it affects all of their coverage. So,
it's interesting because it really depends on, if you're in the media, it really depends on what your objective is. Because if your objective in the media is to get these big names on your show so you can make news, so other news outlets, applaud you or run some sort of coverage of your interview, then yeah, you're going to go out of your way to not really do your job, just do things to attract those people onto your program because it's really ego driven, like you want that attention. But really the whole point of getting people on your program is to have interesting conversations that your audience can benefit from. Your audience is supposed to have something to take away from that conversation. But a lot of these big wig, hotshot people in cable news and the mainstream media don't care about that at all. It's all about their own egos and getting media attention. Who cares
100%.
about that?
Like the idea that they would care about their audience is hilarious. Part and parcel of those promises to gain that access is, don't worry, you won't get any tough questions here. So our audience will not get to find out the whole truth about you. We'll cover it up and make you seem better than you actually are. And that's obviously the #1 problem with this craven desire to get access to officials. It's just being friendly with folks and getting them on your show is not a big deal unless you're tilting your coverage. And you could see clear as day from Fox News and Fox Business. It is as tilted as it could possibly be. And now you see from the internal emails that they pretty much promised that. And one last thing, the Mel Brooks story and how we got him on the Young Turks like 12, 14 years ago is a super fun story. And there's a Young Turks host who's really good friends with Mel Brooks. Although those two stories are different. I want to tell that in the post game, okay?
Okay.
So tyt.com/join to become a member and get all of our fun post games where we also dish about other inside baseball about the media and how it works too. So check it out. It's great for members and members make this show happen. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.